Now for a brief introduction to the topic of symbiosis. Symbiosis, from sim as in symmetry and bio meaning life, describes two organisms that are intertwined. Their interactions cause them to live in some sort of dependency, sometimes on each other. Let's take a look at the different kinds of symbiosis. First, there's commensalism. In commensalism, the first species is benefited where the second species is really not affected. In mutualism, both species benefit. And parasitism, the one we're perhaps the most familiar with, in which the parasite benefits whereas the host, or the second species, is actually damaged in some way. Let's take a look at these three types. First, commensalism, sometimes referred to as just catching a ride. Commensalism here shows these smaller fish hanging out with the shark, catching a ride with him, waiting for that shark to feed. Sharks feeding is a messy kind of operation, and so those small fish will clean up the remnants of that shark's feeding frenzy. A benefit for the smaller fish, of no great consequence to the shark. That is commensalism. Mutualism, where both benefit. While this bird looks like it's in tremendous peril, what the bird is doing is actually feeding on parasites inside that crocodile's mouth. Let's say that crocodile has a leech under its tongue or between its teeth. That bird could get in there, feed on that leech, get a meal for itself, while serving a valuable service to the crocodile, helping him clean up his mouth. Mutualism. The one we're maybe most familiar with is parasitism. Here we have our friend the mosquito doing damage to its host. While this does get a nice blood meal for the mosquito, it does usually leave at least a small painful welt for the host. Not to mention, sometimes mosquitoes carry with them all sorts of disease, anywhere from West Nile virus to malaria. While that's not necessarily part of the parasitism itself, it's not a very good byproduct either. Let's review those three types of symbiosis. Mutualism, where both organisms benefit. Commensalism, where one organism benefits and the other organism is just not really affected. And lastly, parasitism, where one organism benefits while doing harm to the other. Symbiosis.